Hi friends, it's Yans with Yans Cozy Arcade and welcome to another episode of the Cozy Arcade Weekly, where we casually discuss gaming news, gaming events, and a little bit of tech. And if that's something that you're interested in, please consider subscribing. I would really appreciate it. And now let's get into today's topics. So first we're going to talk about the Wholesome Snack Game Awards that had a lot of great games dropping soon in 2026. And then we're going to we'll talk for a little bit about the Game Awards of 2025. It was a very long show, so we're just gonna briefly sum it up really quick and also talk about a little bit of tech today. So first, the Wholesome Snack Awards. So I really enjoyed the show. It was very quick, but filled with a lot of good stuff. A lot of great games dropping soon that were so adorable and so cute, and I cannot wait to play. So speaking of all those great games, we're gonna talk about some of them, not all, but some. Give a little blurb so that you can see if it's a game that you would like to play. And we're gonna start with Thrifty Business. So Thrifty Business is such a comforting concept, running a cozy little thrift shop, uncovering stories behind items, and creating something meaningful from what others leave behind. It feels thoughtful, warm, and right up my alley. Next up, we have Lost and Found Co. coming February 11th, right near my birthday, actually. As someone who loves hidden object games, Lost and Found Co. instantly grabbed my heart. It's so charming, colorful, and full of personality. This one feels like a lovely little treasure hunt wrapped in cozy vibes. Now, I know a lot of you guys really loved Wildflowers. I have not played it. It's not something that I am wanting to play at the moment, unless you guys convince me otherwise. But I was excited for you guys to see that there's Wild Society coming soon, and it has a magical folklore meets comfort feeling that I actually do like. It's cozy, mysterious, and full of atmosphere in the best way. Next up, let's talk about Verdant. Verdant is magical and mellow with a color palette that is just chef's kiss and soothes your soul. It looks like the kind of game you want to curl up with on a quiet evening. Next, we have Spirit Crossing. Spirit Crossing brings a sweet co-op energy, the kind of game that feels even better when you share it with someone special. It's cozy teamwork in its softest form. Next up, we have Travel Pack. Travel Pack mixes board game inspiration with cozy visuals, and it just works. It feels strategic, but still wonderfully relaxing. Next, we have Cozy Caravan coming January 8th, 2026. Cozy Caravan has such a beautiful art style and atmosphere. Every scene feels like a watercolor postcard. This one is one I can see myself disappearing into for hours. Next, we have Fishbowl coming April 2026. Fishbowl has the cutest sound effects and these soft, dreamy colors that make everything just feel so peaceful. It's slow, thoughtful, and absolutely lovely. Next, we have Find Your Words. Find Your Words looks adorable, and I love the emphasis on inclusion and representation, especially having non-speaking characters. And as a teacher, that means so much to me, and I really appreciate that about this game. Next, we have Pandemonium Merge. Pandemonium Merge is such a fun twist on merge games, and I love merge games so much, but this is a 3D cooking experience, and it feels fresh, creative, and delightfully chaotic, but in the best way, so I'm definitely going to check this one out. Next, we have ZD FOMO, and there's a demo available right now. ZD FOMO instantly won me over with its gorgeous colors and character designs. The demo's available now, and it's definitely worth a try, so go check it out. Next, we have Mandrake. Mandrake has this mysterious, earthy charm, and it feels like stepping into a magical garden full of secrets. It's quiet, curious, and beautifully atmospheric. And lastly, they announced that Bits and Bops is now available, and I was so excited about this. I've been keeping my eye out on Bits and Bops. I love rhythm games so much, and this one immediately caught my heart. And so when I found out it was finally available, I was just jumping with joy on the inside. So Bits and Bops has the energy, the rhythms, and the charm. It's just pure joy. This release is going to be such a fun ride. And honestly, just playing it for my first look, I'll have it linked above, I just fell in love all over again. I fell in love playing the demo, and I fell in love playing the full release. And yeah, I encourage everyone to go check out this game, but this was such a great way to end the show. But overall, the Wholesome Snack Game Awards was so wonderful. I enjoyed every single second of it. All the games, like I said, looked so fun, looked so lovely, looked so beautiful, and I just cannot wait to play them all. And the other thing that I really loved is that one of the content creators that I absolutely adore, Cozy by Joshi, was one of the presenters of the award show. And so that was really great to see. I really love his content. So I encourage everyone to check out his page, give him a like, give him a subscribe, a follow, whatever. But yeah, anyway, let's move on to the tech break. Hi guys, welcome to today's tech break. We're not going to be talking about a specific item today, but more so this is for people that want to start streaming in 2026 and you're a newbie at this. So firstly, go ahead and think about what kind of games you're going to want to stream. Are you going to be a horror game streamer, a cozy game streamer, or are you going to be a variety streamer? Completely up to you. It's just great to go ahead and think in your mind the route that you're going to take. Now, if you already game on your PC, it's super easy. All you got to do is now think of how you want to stream. Is it going to be through OBS or Streamlabs? OBS and Streamlabs are pretty much like the bank where you're going to connect all your parts to, and that way you can use this to broadcast your streams. Now, Streamlabs is more user-friendly and it's honestly a little bit better looking, but OBS, you can do way more with it, so it kind of determines which route you want to take. Now, personally, I use Streamlabs just because it is user-friendly. It's real easy to use. I started trying to use OBS, but then something happened where it didn't work, so then I moved on to Streamlabs, and I've been with Streamlabs ever since. But a lot of people are very faithful to OBS because there's more customization you can do with it in the long run. Now, like I said, OBS and Streamlabs are pretty much like the bank where everything's going to be connected to, because now once you have your gameplay, then you want to start adding things like mics, cameras, etc. Now, for those that are trying to stream through a console or like a Steam Deck or something like that, you're going to need a capture card. So the capture card is pretty much what connects everything all together. It connects to the console, which is obviously where you're going to get the gameplay from. That's going to connect to your computer wherever you want the gameplay footage to go, to use, to stream, to record, etc. But you also want it to go to a monitor for you to actually play the game where you don't experience any lag. So it could be a high-end monitor or it could be like a portable monitor. It really doesn't matter. You just don't want to have any lag. If you try to watch the game or play the game through, your computer screen, there is going to be a lag, even if it's like a millisecond. If you're playing like a first-person shooter, you're definitely going to notice. If you're playing more of a cozy game, you're not going to notice, but in the long run, you still want to have a monitor. So you got to have all these pieces connected. So once you have all of that, you have OBS or you have Streamlabs, then you want to think about getting a mic. It's very important to be able to have a clear voice when you're speaking so people can hear you, so you don't sound super far away. Even now, I'm still working on that in my videos, but you definitely want to have a nice mic. So there's high-end mics and then there's low-end mics. A great budget start-off mic would be like the Fifine mic. I think that's a great mic to start off with. It is very clear. It works really great, and it's not too expensive, especially if you're just now starting. So now let's talk about cameras. Now you can go ahead and skip this if you want to have like a faceless account, but I do think having your face on the screen kind of builds that community, builds that trust, builds those relationships with your viewers. And I started with the Elgato face cam. I can't remember the name of it right now, but it's a really great face cam when I first started, but now I use a mirrorless camera, which I think is the top-notch choice just because the quality is really great, and you can connect the mirrorless camera to your computer, to your streams with an Elgato Cam Link. Now we want to talk about lighting, because it's very important for the viewers to actually see you if you're going to be using a webcam, and I use the Elgato Key Light. It works really great. You can control it from your phone, you can control it from your Stream Deck if you have that. You can control the temperature, the brightness, all of that, and it's like right in your face, so it really shows you very clearly, and I stand by that. But there's also the lid tones key lights that I think work really great, and they're more budget friendly, and so check those out as well. And then finally, most importantly, you're going to want to have an external hard drive. I say bank for a 1 terabyte or more external hard drive. Anything lower than that, I feel like will just get filled up fast because you'll be gaming for hours and hours. And you want to have all that footage stored in one place so that it doesn't clog up your computer, because it will clog it up. It's a lot of footage. It's a lot of gigs. So you want to have all of that gameplay footage stored somewhere else so you can use that to make your videos and all of that stuff. If you're saving your footage, if you're just streaming it and that's it, then you might not need to save it because it'll be saved on whatever platform you're streaming it to, like Twitch saves your videos, saves your VODs, so you can skip that. But I think it's great to actually be able to keep your gameplay footage for yourself. So getting an external hard drive is very, very, very important. I can go over setting up OBS or setting up Streamlabs and how to do all of those fun, cool things that you can do in your streams in a separate video if you would like me to. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today's tech break, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye. Okay, so let's get into the Gaming Awards 2025. Honestly, it could have been called Expedition 33 Awards plus others because the entire show was all about that game. And I'm not mad about it. A lot of people love that game. Actually, they said like fell in love with the game within the first hour. So I understand the hype, and well deserved with the amount of work they put into the game. So yeah, all hypes to Expedition 33. I just felt like as soon as they got the award and were getting ready to sit back down, it was time for them to get up again to get the next award. And it just kept happening the entire time. So it was no shock that they were gonna win the Game of the Year award. We all saw it coming. And yeah, so yeah, the whole show could have just been all about them. There were some really great titles that were announced. A lot of them I already talked about in the other Cozy Arcade Weekly video for the most wanted games, and I'll have that linked above. But yeah, as a cozy gamer, if you're watching me mainly for cozy gaming, there wasn't many titles for us. It wasn't a lot of cozy titles. But if you like, horror, or you like action and things like that, there were a lot of titles for those type of games. I won't get into all of the titles because it honestly was so many. The entire award show was so long. Y'all, I had work the next day and I was so tired by the end of it. I was like, I can't even keep my eyes open. It was so much. So many awards to be given, so many titles dropped. It was a lot. So I'm not gonna go over it in this video, but just know that there were a lot of titles, but it wasn't a lot of cozy gaming titles. So that's a little bit sad, but yeah, a lot of titles were really great. A lot of people are really excited about them, but there were a lot of titles that a lot of people were like, meh, it's all right. Honestly, if they had a wider variety maybe of categories, some other games would have got the recognition that it deserves. I kind of feel like there were a lot of games that are really great and really deserved the recognition, but just got outshined. So that was a little sad. I don't know. Also, a lot of people were talking about that a lot of the games were kind of rushed, or a lot of the awards were kind of rushed through, and they didn't get an opportunity to get on stage and give a speech. But at the same time, I just don't see how that was going to be possible because the award show was already long enough and they did rush through some of the awards. So I don't know how it's possible to have everyone come on stage and give their speech, all the winners. It would have just been a lot. So I don't know how else to do it, but that's just, I guess, the quickest way to get through it. But yeah, it is a little bit sad that some of the games didn't get to get on stage and give a speech or get that acknowledgement that they deserved. And personally, I don't really care for the Muppets. I never really have that. That could just be a me thing, but that all of that could have been cut out, to be honest, in my opinion. I'm not a Muppets person. I don't really care about Miss Piggy and all of them, but yeah, that's just a personal opinion. I don't know. How do you feel? Do you like seeing Miss Piggy and all the Muppets? Is that like a thing? Because I've just never really been all for the Muppets. But I really loved seeing how everyone cheered each other on. Like, I love the joy and excitement on everyone's face when the winners were announced. I absolutely love that. I love seeing, everyone hype each other up. That was a joy to watch. Overall, there were a lot of people that really enjoyed the awards show, and there were a lot of people that felt like it was just decent or just meh. And some people were even saying that they probably won't even be watching the next year's one. I still feel like it's worth to watch just so you can see the game titles that will be released and just to celebrate the games that, we enjoyed throughout the year. But yeah, I can definitely see that, especially towards the end. I definitely started losing steam with the awards show, like that last hour or so. I was kind of like, okay, I can't. And then they gonna add that hero shooter at the end? Nobody care about that. Like, I don't know why they ended with that one. There were so many other games you could have ended the show with. I don't know why they ended it with that. Nobody wants to play that. Like, everyone is over it. So I don't know why they ended it with that. That's such an odd way to end the show, honestly, but who am I? Who am I? I'm just a viewer. I don't make games. Yeah, not too much on the award show. It's kind of same old, but just the main thing was that Expedition 33 won everything. They pretty much walked away with all the wins over here, okay? But yeah, other than that, some nice games were dropped. Some games were like, okay. And they ended the show really weird. But I did like all the special effects. That was pretty cool. I really liked that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So are there any games that you're gonna be keeping an eye out for with the Wholesome Snack gaming trailers that were revealed? Are you gonna be playing bits and bops? Because I definitely think you should. It's so fun. And what were your thoughts on the Gaming Awards 2025? Did you enjoy it, or did you also feel like it was just meh? And have you played Expedition 33, and what are your thoughts on that game? Let me know all the things. And yeah, don't forget to like this video if you have enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe. I would really appreciate it, like I said. And catch you guys next week for the next episode of the Cozy Arcade Weekly. Bye.